Welcome to JT Explains. I'm Josh.
I'm Terrence.
And in this episode, we're going to be discussing Rick and Morty Season 4, Episode 10.
The season finale starred Mort Rickturn of the Jerri.
Rick does not have many weaknesses, but his biggest and greatest weakness is, of course, his daughter, Beth.
Blade Smith.
Beth Smith.
Beth Smith. Okay, God, it's just such a plain... I'm trying to come up with a mnemonic device.
You could connect it to not dying.
I know. You'd think that would sear it right in, but it just speaks to the sheer forgettability. Oh, God, I am so sorry. Oh, God, starts with...
This is a very Beth and Rick-centric episode.
You told me I wasn't a clone.
You're not a clone.
And who is that?
A clone?
I would consider it a sequel episode to Season 3, Episode 9's ABCs of Beth.
Next item on the docket, I would like to have sex with some of you and then eat the babies. I thought you'd like that. I do keep rolling out the hits, don't I?
Well, that sounds about right. You could seamlessly edit the footage and make one solid clip of kind of what happened.
Exactly, because in fact, this episode shows us what happens directly following the scene where Rick gives Beth the opportunity to become a clone or not, or to have a clone. Ironically enough, he's doubled his weakness, but also made it so that if one of his daughters died, he'd still have a backup.
Why would you make a clone of me just to send the clone into space?
Well, you didn't want to go, and I thought, okay, that's cool. But then I thought, well, you know what would be even cooler? Is a space daughter. So I made one, and I put a bomb in her neck in case she ever came back.
Father of the Year!
She wasn't supposed to come back.
So this time, once again, we see Rick trying to dodge a family therapy session. However, he's upped his game. Instead of just trying to become a pickle, like we saw in Season 3's episode, Pickle Rick, this
Garage,
time,
family therapy mode.
he's taken it to the length of setting up the garage to have this huge laser force field that's, I don't know, therapy-proof?
A very extravagant steel cage with lasers. I don't know, I think turning into pickle is a little bit more intense than a beefed-up security system.
Well, when he turned into a pickle, he still had to go to the therapy session. I gotta say, it didn't end up working out for him fully. Also,
That's a good point.
in this, it didn't really work out any better either, because he technically still ends up having a nice therapeutic session with his space daughter. Whether she be his real daughter or not, he definitely has to deal with some daughter-daddy issues.
Honey, you're back.
You seem surprised.
You never wrote.
And never exploded?
What I'm hearing is that you think that's a bomb.
So does every engineer that's seen it.
Engineer? Princess, I'm sure every caveman that sees a microwave calls it a rock cabinet.
So what do you think would have happened had she not removed the device, but came back? So, she comes back, the device, she doesn't even know about it. Does she explode? Does Earthbeth explode? Is there no explosion? What happens?
He was expecting the device he implanted to go off, whereas it did not because she removed it. So he was going to have some sort of pre-warning on her arrival, which he never got.
My dad made a perfect clone of me to take my place.
Boy, that Rick. So if you do go back, what happens to the clone? Does it have a proximity-triggered device in its neck?
Who cares? Are we done?
Sure, unless you want me to remove the proximity-triggered device from your neck. Think it's a bomb? Man, what if this is how you found out he never wanted you back? That he loved the clone more than you? How crazy would that be? Crazy and, of course, soul-crushing.
One of the weapons that Beth pulls out is actually something that looks like a Pokeball. And Rick immediately throws a great ball back at her, and these things have a fight. Now everyone, I think, would assume immediately a Pokemon thing. I think these are actually Froopy characters, like a Froopy Mon, I don't know. But if you remember back from Season 3, Episode 9, the episode that this is basically a sequel episode of, in that episode we see all these Froopy characters and creatures. Beth even kills a fuck ton of them. But I think these are captured Froopy creatures. That's my look at it. If you think that I'm right, please comment down below. This is my big thing for the episode. I really think that those are Froopy creatures that they have in Pokemon balls. Froopymon. She's actually, I gotta say, she's actually pretty good at keeping up with Rick in a fight. Like, other than, like, maybe the President, not many people can keep up with Rick in combat. Except for maybe Bird Person, as we see later in the episode. But the amount of competence she shows fighting with Rick, and, like, she also, Space Beth has, like, all these artificial limbs and arms and stuff, just like Rick does. It really shows that she would be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to adversaries if she were to turn on him. Once again, very possible.
Then whip me up a reason not to kill you.
Dad, we're off to Dr. Wong.
Scan her.
Dad?
Okay, have fun, Pumpkin. Sorry, I'm a piece of father.
At this
Oh,
point,
just in general, he decided to have a safety net bomb put into Beth.
100%. Sad but true. Like, that's, I think, what makes him the shittiest father figure ever, is the self-destruct mechanism he put in his daughter. However, we don't know for a fact that they're a bomb. We're just pretty confident they're a bomb.
The device in her neck would have transferred a database of her memories to your device before vaporizing her. So much for that plan.
Let's say the normal Beth. I don't know, Mother Beth. Let's say
Earth Beth?
Yeah, sure. Earth Beth and Space Beth.
Perfect.
But she only doesn't kill Rick because Earth Beth also has the neck device.
See, Rick put it in both of them as a safety net, I feel. I think having it in both and having them both be lethal means that if either one turned on him at any point, even though he wouldn't want to, he's all about the survival of the fittest. It's every man for themselves. Even when it comes to your daughter, if your daughter's gonna kill you, you kill her. That's Rick's mentality, sadly. Okay, so he created these two perfect Beths. Like he said, they are perfect clones of Beth. There's nothing to differentiate them. They're exactly the same. So what would make one go off into space versus the one that stayed? There must have been something that he either did or didn't do to trigger something. Like maybe he took away a memory, maybe he told her something, did something. I don't know exactly what it could have been. Maybe he just like put her in a rocket ship and sent her off, didn't even give her a choice.
Well, so
rocket ship, like they have spaceships, but still.
Now Beth told Rick to decide for her.
Yes, that's true.
So now maybe they made the clone and everything. Rick erases her memories from anything after her telling Rick to decide, and Rick goes right away and decides whether it's the clone or not, telling that clone or not, whether you're the mother, stay here, be a mom, go. And then the other one, right at that moment, essentially, you're going outer space, go do some crazy adventures, go.
Yeah.
Because right then and there, Beth was willing to do either or.
That's true.
So that would be the ideal moment or ideal mindset to have Beth in to send her on her way.
And that's kind of the beautiful thing that I don't think intentionally did, but she was at this very pivotal moment in her life. She could have went in either direction. She could have been this stay-at-home mom for the rest of her life, stayed with her family, or she could have went the direction where she went and, like Rick, in his 30s, went on crazy adventures and had all these crazy space battles. And she could have went 100% either way. It was a flip of a coin. And that choice would have changed everything. As we saw, there's two different outcomes of what Beth could and would become. And now she gets both. She gets to kind of see and experience best of both worlds. The Space Beth knows that no matter what, her family is taken care of back at home. She doesn't have to worry about them. And while Beth may not be going on these crazy adventures, she kind of gets to have this experience where she at least hears about them. If not, like, maybe they, like she said, they could do like a Parent Trap where they switch places for a day. Hey, you stay home and take care of the kids. I'm gonna go on some crazy space adventures. That is just a brilliant concept within itself. It is definitely a gift. Whether Rick sees it or not, I think they've not only embraced it, but even the kids were. Like,
they were pretty cool with it.
And Jerri, he's got 2 wives now. He had no complaints. Well, I don't think Space Beth.
I don't think it's going to work out the way that,
Space Beth isn't into Jerri.
No.
And that's another thing that's a crucial thing. When he made the clone, even though they were perfect, and at that moment in time, that state of them was exactly the same. Since they've branched off, they've become two completely separate people. Space Beth looks down at her other Beth's choices. Home Beth is with Jerri, and that to the Space Beth, that's just disgusting. That's shocking. Like, why would you do that? That's not what I would do. But that's the thing. They make different choices because they are officially, technically different people now.
Why is she it? Why am I back with Jerri? I thought she was a copy of me.
She is a copy of you. If she ran back to that dingleberry, that's on you. Want to grab a drink?
All the time.
Good girl.
Both Beths now are in a scenario where neither one knows if they are real.
Well, Earth Beth took it pretty well.
I think
When
Earth
she,
Beth...
when she assumed she was a clone, she's like, oh my god, I'm a
I'd
clone.
like to kill you. My superiors have some questions about the Defiance.
I don't have a... I have a Defiance? Oh, God. I'm a clone.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think Earth Beth is the real Beth. Would you agree? Or do you
Yes.
think Space Beth? Because, like, the whole twist is Space Beth goes out, she was supposed to, like, the whole point was he said, alright, you're gonna go on adventures. I'm gonna send you out on adventures and you're a clone to take your place here. So we'd all think that the clone was here the whole time. When the twist was that she didn't actually want to go, but he's like, well, I already made this clone. I kind of want to have a space daughter. Literally does send her out anyway, but which one did get sent out? I think it was the clone that got sent out. That's just my thought, because I don't think there is a way to tell.
No.
Doo-doo butt.
Hey.
Hey.
So, just like out of curiosity, if you were to make a clone of Tommy, what would you need to get started?
I don't know. Tommy's DNA?
Okay, because he didn't want to come back, so, he gave me this.
He gave you his finger.
Well, what happened is...
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
This will take about 3 hours.
okay,
Hey, you want to help?
okay.
So, if you're not fully convinced that this is a sequel episode to the ABCs of Beth, in that episode, Beth really shows that she is very much like her father. And you kind of get a glimpse of Space Beth in that moment, I feel. Or what she could become.
Oh my God, I'm my father.
They actually used the same cloning device that they did to clone Tommy from that same episode.
Like step by step, it's the same thing.
It's the same method, and the one that they actually did together, and then he does that on Beth to make a clone of her.
In my butt, but I know that a father should say to you that he's proud of you. Every daughter is a doo-doo from a father's butt. Biologically speaking, the butt is a nut. And every father's wrong, and there isn't a song that can change that.
You actually stitch all the clips together, it just flows perfectly.
I don't know if I can do it.
Then stay and luxuriate in a life you can finally know you've chosen. My secret bonus is that no matter what you choose, you're finally gonna chill the f*** out.
Okay. I know what I want to do.
The stuff that we see is what happens directly after.
I want you to decide.
What?
For once in my life, I want you to decide, Dad. Do you want me to stay here and be part of your life, or do you want me to leave?
She let Rick decide too.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous. You never let Rick decide.
Well,
That's
and Rick was in the
asking for
perfect
trouble.
situation to decide. He had two options and two clones.
Well, that's the thing. Rick, instead of actually making a decision, made a non-choice. Because he took the memory away of which one is real, they are both real to him. He now has two daughters. If he knew which one was real, you're right. It doesn't matter because one is a clone and one is his daughter. But now both are technically his daughter because the potential, it's Schrodinger's cat. Both could possibly be his
Make
daughter.
a clone of you. A perfect instance of you with all your memories, an exact copy in every way.
Maybe did he give her possibly the greatest gift ever, letting her live two completely different lives.
I am wiped out. I guess I'll turn in.
Cool.
Dad? I feel like I've spent my life pretending you're a great guy and trying to be like you. And the ugly truth has always been
That I'm not that great a guy and you're exactly like me.
B-plot. So there's another B-plot in this episode revolving around Jerri, and Jerri's B-plot is, I think it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
You don't even really see it much. You see it here at the table, and then what? You see it at the end?
There's like little glimpses. She also mentions when Space Beth first shows up in the garage and we have that whole interaction, she's telling Jerri to leave the puppet home even then, too.
Well, the reason he got the puppet was for the therapy.
Exactly. And then she just makes fun of him, blatantly telling him that he's an idiot for having this puppet, and he looks like a dumbass.
Do you agree that the use of puppets makes you seem dumb and crazy?
I don't think crazy is a responsible word to use.
It is now. This is crazy. You're being crazy.
They do it in therapy on TV.
What TV gives British people prizes for baking, Jerri?
They're beyond therapy, that family.
Tammy, this is the office where my family works to better itself.
What, and that makes it sacred?
No, it makes it a place I've rigged with a lot of voice-activated escape contingencies. These are all good points. I need to take a long look at myself.
I'd like to discuss that.
I don't discuss problems, I incinerate them. Everybody in the car! Everybody in my family, not the world. Jesus, Wong, boundaries.
So do you think that was like a setup to potentially kill her? Like, was that...
That was totally meant to incinerate the hell out of her.
She would have been dead.
I don't know how you explain that.
Or to your family, do you think they'd like be understanding that we just came to a problem and your solution was to incinerate?
I'm better than this job.
Do you think we're going to be seeing her again? This therapist?
I would not.
Or do you think that seems like the end of her storyline?
last chance to guess who was the clone. You're his daughter. Something about the eyes, the shameless abandonment of your family. However can I live with myself? One theory, I was designed by your father to live with myself, which would mean you made a conscious choice to swallow your dreams with cheap wine and dinosaur pasta.
And then... But then, like, you think Rick's, like, a good father for a second, like, even for 1 second, and then he says this.
He's got no fucking clue.
Beth, if one of you is still alive, you're my real daughter. If you're both alive, don't hurt the other one. She's just a clone. She's not worth it. I'm coming, baby.
That piece of shit.
Okay, so at that point, after he says this, does he have any redeemable, like, quality, like, or is
No.
it just straight up, like, I don't give a fuck which one is which, whichever one survives is my daughter, basically?
He doesn't know, and I think that was his original plan. Like, the one went to outer space. Yeah.
I think because also, neither Beth is his real daughter.
That's true.
As we know, he completely abandoned the universe that Morty fucked up with that love potion, and since then it was just Rick and Morty entering a brand new universe. Like, these are completely not the same.
Their bodies are still in the backyard.
That's true. But yeah, that's something weird to think about. So technically, even though he's been around with this one and lived around with this Beth, this version of Beth isn't technically his daughter. It's not his real Beth that he started with, which also brings the question, what happened there? Because I guarantee you, the time that Morty and Rick first came into that universe and swapped bodies with the dead ones, I don't think that's the first time Rick's done that. You can see how fucking messed up Morty was when he was doing that, but Rick, it was like he had done that before. Like,
Oh yes, and he
new.
told Morty how many more times they were able to do it.
Yeah, we can get away with this at least like 5 or 6 more times, max, Morty.
Morty, we had one grenade.
He had a gun.
Whatever, come on.
So finally, after so much build-up, everybody's been waiting for this. Bird person, I mean, Phoenix person.
PP for short.
Rick and Phoenix person finally get the battle that we've all been waiting for, and it is pretty epic, I must say.
Bird person?
It is now Phoenix person.
You're working for them? What did they do to you, BP?
It is now PP. Where is Tammy?
Oh, don't worry about her. I killed her.
I loved her.
Really? Huh. Then can I suggest as an alternate name, Crazy Pussy Whipped Person?
Okay, so finally, after all that, we get the payoff.
Leave it to Jerri to come in holding a dead Tammy.
And yeah, the puppeteer, the B-plot, it all comes forward, and we see Jerri using dead Tammy as a puppet, and somehow fools Bird Person, I mean Phoenix Person.
But for a moment, he distracted him for a little bit, turned around, Jerri had his moment, now it's time to, fuck up, and he did.
Bird Person, stop. It's me, that Tammy girl.
Tammy, this is unexpected. I was told you were dead.
That is absolutely not true. I'm more alive than I've ever been.
You are behaving rather strangely.
Me? Strange? Oh my! Well, who's normal, really? Now come here, you big hollow bone featherhead. Let me give you some of this sweet ass.
Saved the day with puppeting. Only one with a decent arc. He does have his moments.
Conveniently, he had an off switch on his back right there.
What do you think of the slight twist that Rick actually was able to salvage Bird Person, I mean Phoenix Person?
At least I'm a pretty good friend. Looks like it's just you and me, buddy. Okay, alright, we'll give you a little more time.
That was weird. It kind of reminded me a little bit of it's a movie, Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, yeah.
He kept his best friend who turned into a zombie there. They stayed under the shed and played video games together.
That's cool. Also, I think it was Curse of Chucky. There was like a after credits ending scene in one of the Chucky movies, if it wasn't that one. Basically where Andy has Chucky like stapled to a board or something, and I thought that was a nice touch. Just the fact that we know that Bird Person is now just behind that shelf, it makes that shelf a little bit more significant.
He's not
from now
gone.
on. No, he's always there. He's in the Smith household.
He's a project now.
That's true. Do you think we're gonna see?
Rick's gonna fix him.
Yeah, are we ever gonna see like the same Bird Person though? Like what?
Well, Rick's only redeeming thing now is that he thinks he can be a good friend. So
that's the one thing he has left.
That's all he's got left.
Is this creepy, maniacal looking version of friend? Yeah. Wubba lubba dub dub.
I'll forgive you for abandoning us if you let me drive it.
That works for me. I was just gonna give you space cigarettes.
I love having two moms.
And I love having two wives.
Never gonna happen, Jerri.
Alright, so I think there's a very general feeling that nobody cares which Beth is the real Beth. The whole family has just accepted that we have two moms now. Like, that there's two Beths.
What, after all this, you don't want to know the truth?
The truth is we have more important to do, like raise our kids and stamp out the Federation, neither of which seem like they want anything to do with you.
Well, I think it's pretty easy for them to to take in, because think of all the different Jerrys Jerri met. Think of all the Ricks they've all met. Morty's met a bunch of Mortys. Like,
this isn't a new thing to them. You're right.
They all know there's
alternate versions of
definitely
themselves.
Many of them. Now this one happens to be a clone rather than one from another universe, which means they share that universe. So this one's home is here. It's all good.
Morty, some, you gotta at least want to know who your real mom is. Not really, Rick. We have two badass moms now. It's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, Grandpa Rick, don't drag us into your bullshit just because you're losing control.
And I don't think it's weird that it doesn't matter to them, because even like Rick and Rick seemed to be the only one that wanted to know.
And he never got to find out.
Ready to get the answers to your burning questions?
What's this, Dad?
The memory of which Beth is real and which Beth is a clone, obviously.
You mind blew yourself? You literally don't even know which of your daughters is real. Of course you don't. Why am I surprised? I'm sure you'd love for us to need that from you, but I don't care what's in that vial. Yeah, me neither. You're a piece of shit either way.
But what would you have done with that information? Was it just like a curiosity thing, or is he literally saying it for the audience? Like, I know this is the moment that the audience has been waiting for. You guys want the answers. And then gives them the answer of a fuck you to the audience, but at the same time, it is a beautiful statement. I really like that not knowing means that, because Rick is this.
You gotta end the show with some questions.
Definitely, it keeps it so like we could answer it later on, or it could just be left open-ended. I really like the idea that Rick is so smart that if he knew which Beth was the real Beth, that he wouldn't truly love that Beth. Like, he'd maybe love Beth, but it's clone Beth. It's not real Beth. I wouldn't like risk my life for clone Beth. However, if he doesn't know which one's which,
then he can't. He has to risk his life. He now has 2 weaknesses.
You're right. So, there's a lot to it, but I think that it's overall a good thing. Especially because it adds a lot of depth to Rick's character, and now it's adding ironically, a lot of depth to Beth's character that we could have had one way or the other. We get the best of both worlds.
And now we're getting both, and like the kids love it, Morty loves it, someone loves it. Jerri,
all for the best.
Jerri loves it, but I don't think Jerry's gonna get to love it the way he thinks he's gonna love it.
No menage a Beth. No.
But everyone's happy except for Rick, and it ended on that note. It ended on Rick not
usually
being
ends on
top.
him being miserable. Also, I feel as though wasn't that the chair that he was sitting in when he went to kill himself?
Oh, maybe.
That seems to be his like depression seat. I feel like that's the spot of the garage he goes when he's like sad.
Time to die. So, in season 5, is there going to be 2 Beths?
100%.
Right?
100%.
2 Beths.
That's a new thing now, because
And
now
they're
we
hanging
have,
out. They're getting along now.
we can have a Beth go on adventures with Rick and Morty. She can be like a summer add-on type thing, because she's badass version.
Yeah, I guess she does. She does have experience in the space combat.
Yeah, you could have her actually have Federation type.
Well, she's
episode.
wanted though. Maybe that won't really help Rick.
Oh, that was like one of the last things she says is she's gonna keep taking down the Federation, while the other Beth was like, I'm gonna take care of my family. Like, they both have goals, and they're gonna stick to them.
Alright.
I can make a clone of you. A perfect instance of you with all your memories, an exact copy in every way. It'll love and provide for the kids, do your job, and consume broadcast network reality TV on the same allegedly ironic level as you. You could be gone a day, a week, or the rest of your life with 0 consequences. The moment you decide to come back, I flip a switch, and the clone's job is done. It feels no pain, regrets nothing, and has 0 chance of going Blade Runner.
Alright guys, well that's been JT Explains. I've been Josh.
And I'm Terrence.
We will see you guys on the next episode and maybe talk about some more Rick and Morty. Until next time.
Bye.
Later guys.
Oh, they're gonna track down Beth.
You mean Beth's clone?
Right, Beth's clone. What did I say? It really was nice seeing you again.